Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in live or listening to replay. We always appreciate everyone tuning in live or listening to replay. This is the vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. The vault episode 236. Biden 401k rollover and trust. Really excited about doing this episode today. Had quite a few consultations, and trustees always ask these questions all the time. So we're just going to go ahead and get straight into it because this is a really a common theme among a lot of people that reach out to the vault. A lot of them have 401ks, a lot of them work jobs or have had jobs. A lot of people ask this question even in trustee training, which is, how to roll over a 401k into a trust, how to roll over the 401k in trust, we should say. And there's something that we actually put you in contact with asset managers. We do have asset managers, access to quality asset managers on the private side. So we definitely are always focused on, you know, having, people talk to those asset managers. A lot of people want to practice private family banking, which deals with you taking more control over the capital. But we want to go ahead and address this question because it is a big elephant in the room, which is 401k, and enrolling over in trust and things of that nature. A lot of people right now. Shout out to Brooklyn. Thank you for tuning in live from Brooklyn. If you all want to feel free to type into the chat where you're listening from, feel free to do so. We always appreciate everyone typing into the chat live where they're listening from. But to the topic itself, the Vol episode 236, Biden 401k and rollover and trust. A lot of people have heard that the 401ks are going to change, things of that nature. When you all hear a certain party talking about they're going to raise taxes, but they're not going to raise it on higher income people, things of that nature. We're hearing the lies start already in people's campaigns, how they're not going to raise taxes. Ladies and gentlemen, interest rates are pretty much at zero right now. There's a lot of cheap money floating around. Appreciate Los Angeles for tuning in live, as well listening to replay. Shout out to Los Angeles. Um, there's a lot of cheap money in the market when the government's not being paid an interest on the money. Clearly, there's not going to be able opportunity to create a spread and grow the capital. So in turn, you just see them continue flooding the capital. They're not getting return on investment. They're just going to keep pouring money down a drain and down a swamp that literally is just it's not working. And so let's get into the topic at hand, which is 401k and rollover and trust. A lot of people ask about this. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had people come to the vault with $100,000 in their 401k. We've had people come to the vault with $80,000 in their 401k. I mean, tons of money in their 401k. This is money that they either contributed to a defined contribution plan, or a plan that their job has set up for them, and things of that nature. A lot of people are aware that most jobs don't even have 401ks anymore. So to have people come to the vault with this type of capital and not want to protect it is insane. I mean, these are people that literally have their money fluctuating based off of the market. When we asked them, what is the safest position? Do you think it's going to be in a trust, or do you think it's going to be in a 401k? And they always say it's going to be in a trust, but for some odd reason, they're afraid to take the penalty to take it out and invest in their private education. So we're here to talk about that today, about if there's any type of apprehension to take the penalty. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, this is the easy question we can ask potential trustees when you're coming to the vault: is our taxes going to be higher in the future than they are right now? And this is a question that people are literally doofus test and dumbfounded on, about the fact that they would hope that they're not going to be higher in the future. Were they higher 10 years ago or today? They're higher today because the money is at zero interest rates, ladies and gentlemen. The money has lost value. It's gained value in some respects, but it's a depreciating asset. And so when people say, oh, well, should I just take the penalty to get going in trustee training? You might as well take the penalty in trustee training, because you're either going to give it to the government or you're going to make it a point to invest in your private education. This is the message that we talk to potential trustees that come through the vault, and they ask these type of questions. Well, should I take the penalty on the front end? There's a thing called opportunity cost loss. If the money's going to be less valuable in the future, why wouldn't you take advantage of the opportunity right now to use a dollar that's stronger, that's going to give you more right now than you will in the future? You're going to need more dollars in the future than you are right now. This is evident. This is what we know. We just want to do a mic check. Can everyone type into the chat that they can hear us clearly? If you're listening live, feel free to type into the chat that you can hear us clearly. We want to make sure for sure that everyone can hear us clearly. Just feel free to type into the chat. But we have a ton of people that literally say, well, the dollars are going to be more valuable right now than they are ever. Of course they are. But what happened, ladies and gentlemen? What happened to people investing in their financial future? What happened to people making it a point to say, I'm not going to depend on, I'm not going to depend on some government, I'm not going to depend on some defined contribution plan that literally fluctuates with the stock market. See, we're going to hit you with the hard facts. First of all, when you put money into a 401k, and we don't need to be financial advisors, this is from the questions we get and experience. When you put money into a 401k, doesn't someone else control what assets are being held inside of what's considered to be a mutual fund? Did you know that the 401ks are held in trust through contracts? Do people read the prospectus of the companies that they're working with? So people are already in trust because now they have a third-party company, TD Ameritrade, whatever these other third-party companies are. We don't need to name drop, but naming these other companies that are being a trustee over your finances, because people don't want to do sound financial research. People say, well, there's so much financial information out there, I don't know what to look at. So you're literally handing over that responsibility to someone else. And this is why we're about to see a massive disruption with these new companies such as Acorn. How can they open up an options platform and not be registered with the SEC? But they're opening up a platform for you all to lose your money. Because people don't know that there's no such thing as something for nothing. So how can you get onto an exchange platform, not meet certain financial requirements to actually invest capital, and people are losing money? Oh, some people don't even know how to pull their money out of. So when you get into disclosures about these platforms, what happens? What happens when you're not disclosed about how is the platform free? These are the questions that people are not asking. So let's talk about the money not being in your control. You gave away control. That shows you're in trust through the 401k. So you're in trust already because the third party intermediary, that's what they're called, the bank, the third party intermediary, whoever it is, the asset manager, the investment manager, puts you in a mutual fund with these different types of stocks. Now everybody loves Apple. This is the hugest, it's the $1 trillion company. What happened? It just did a stock split. People don't even know what a stock split is. People lost money in a stock split right now. This past week, they lost money when the market went down. The market went down this past week, ladies and gentlemen. And people what? People lost money because they didn't know what a stock split was. They didn't know what corporate buybacks were. Because they handed over their financial future, their financial education to an asset manager who says, don't worry about it. The company's going to rebound. Stock took a half a hit because of lack of financial education. Okay. And this is what we're seeing inside of the marketplace every single year, every single day. We're seeing people suffer from stock splits, from corporate buybacks, from these companies that they think that they can invest in. Oh, we're going to go get some Amazon stock. Ladies and gentlemen, it's at an all-time high. What makes you think they're not going to do a split either? But everybody wants to be invested in the big boys, the FANG companies. They don't want to invest in their financial education. So you hand it over to an asset manager. You hand it over to a financial manager. This guy's making $30,000. He's wearing mismatched socks to work. He's wearing beat up shoes to work. He's carrying peanut butter jelly sandwiches in his attaché case. But people are handing over their money to T-Row. Yeah. We saw what happened recently with the stock market. We literally sat around asset managers that work for these companies. They weren't even picking up their phone at the beginning of COVID, when COVID took out people's life savings in their 401ks. Appreciate everybody that typed in the chat that they can hear us perfectly clear. Definitely appreciate that participation. Uh, just want to make sure YouTube's just doing some stuff, and we want to make sure that people are hearing us clearly. So it's more important for people to type into the chat now than ever. Feel free to type into the chat any questions that you may have. But this is a serious topic. So people are willing to put their money into some program that they're not fully aware of. It's just, oh, well, I can save it. What happened if the 401k was such a quality savings? Why are you penalized for touching it? Well, because I'm saving it tax free right now. That's what they say. So you're saving it tax free right now. But what happens when you come across the vault and you say, I need to actually protect it? I need asset protection right now because it's not protected. What about the life insurance policies you guys are in? Are they protected? Yeah, those are protected. My children will get the money tax free. Why don't your children get the money tax free and the 401ks? Because of financial education. Not having a proper financial education can make you misjudge different type of financial investments. That's why coming into the vault, it allows you to get around asset managers that you can ask those questions to. Securities agents. We hear people come to us all the time about these different securities. But we have people that are licensed securities agents, ex-securities agents. So Apple does a stock split, people lose their money. But people were banking on this company being the largest company in the world. People don't even know what a corporate buyback is, a stock split. They know it's not good. Ladies and gentlemen, it's important for you to invest in your private financial education. It's not financial advice. It's financial education. You have to educate yourself on these different type of assets that you think are assets, such as a mutual fund. So the mutual fund means you get the best of the worst and the worst of the best. So your portfolio is always going to not even outperform the market. They put you in an individual group of stocks, in a basket of stocks, and then you get these guys that say, then you get these other gurus over the internet, gurus that write these books and say, well, just put your money in S&P. It's never gone down in 30 years. It's gave an average of 3 to 4% returns, 7% returns. But what happened to people dealing with these companies such as Apple that's inside of those mutual funds, inside of the NASDAQ? What happened? They might have took a hit too. And you're going to keep trusting a financial analyst, keep trusting a financial advisor that doesn't even make more money than you? It's incumbent upon you to invest in your private education, because that's where financial education is truly held, not in the public. Everybody knows. Everybody says this is the defined process for success, but it's really the defined process for failure, because no one can live off $1 million at the age of 65. And if anybody says that they can, they're lying. There's no one living off $1 million at the age of 65, ladies and gentlemen, in the United States. This is the lie that's still being permeated in the United States culture, where you got people talking about, you have millennials that literally say, why are they paying into Social Security? You all have heard press clippings come out from the government. You've heard these statistics come out from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and say that Social Security will not be around because it's been defunded, because it's not fully funded. Hold on. Well, who are the asset managers that are running this program? Are they the same asset managers that are connected with the guys that are running the mutual funds that allowed you to just take a hit with the Apple, the stock split? And people don't know that. That's the difference. This is the difference, ladies and gentlemen. Are you going to invest in your education? This is what the vault talks about, provides financial research. You got to research, ladies and gentlemen. You got to take control over your financial future. And it is going to take some chips to invest in your education. But people rather just keep it sitting somewhere in a volatile market, as they say. Oh, the market's volatile. It's all over the place. The market's all over the place, huh? Okay. The market's all over the place. What happened in 2020 to people's portfolios? Ladies and gentlemen, the stock market is back up, highs. But how many people's portfolios are back up at highs? How many people's 401ks are back up to where they were pre-COVID? Right before COVID hit. You want to know why? Because you're in a well-diversified portfolio. See, this is what they say as the common process for success in America, which is go to school, work hard, get good grades, go to a good school, work hard there in school, and then you're going to get out and get a good job. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you all know it or not, truck drivers are about to lose their jobs to automated vehicles. For all you all that want the Tesla stock high, they're working on automated vehicles. They're working on automated trucks. Why are you trying to be a trucker still? Wow, did we need to say that to you all? Or did you lose the foresight or the vision? Shout out to the Bronx for tuning in live or listening to replay. People are still trying to be truckers in 2020 when you have companies, big companies, Tesla stock is competing with you at this point. Oh, you didn't think Amazon was going to eliminate the grocery store jobs? You didn't think Amazon was going to keep focusing on creating touchless payment? Google's going to work on touchless payment? Oh, Samsung's going to work on touchless payment? Did Apple work on touchless payment? That means you don't have to deal with people anymore. Oh, wow. That means it's going to be less jobs working at stores, the retail sector. Oh, no, this is too hard to predict. But is your portfolio reflecting that in your 401k? Or are you still invested in the worst of the best and the best of the worst? See, taking control of your financial future looks like you invest in private trustee training and says, I'm going to get the entire system. I'm not going to get half the system. I'm going to get the entire system. Why? Because our family deserves the proper position. Right now, are you positioned properly? Were you positioned for the turn that just happened in your portfolio with the 401k? The dip that happened? Whether it was through the Apple stock split, or whether it was the pre-COVID split, or the COVID split to your portfolio? Were you prepared for that split? Were you prepared for that dip? Did you know that some people actually benefited off the COVID dip? Guess who benefited off the COVID dip? Tesla. But hold on. How many people are buying electric cars right now? What about AMD? These technology companies. They benefited right now. People shopping online. What about the people right now that were doing fractional payment systems through the internet, where a product might cost $100, but hey, you don't need to pay $100. Just go through this little third party, and you can start building your credit up. Also, they tricked you now. Now you can build up your credit by giving four easy payments of $25. Ladies and gentlemen, technology is crushing people's portfolio right now, and people are still in some well-diversified portfolio in the 401k. Well, I don't know where to put my money at. The stocks went up. I don't even know when to pull my money out of the stocks. People are trying to get into stocks. They're still holding to their 401ks. They don't know where to put their money. What about the correct position? Own nothing, control everything. How many people are hesitating on their knowledge? You're putting your family at risk because of your incompetence, your lack of knowing, when the vault provides education. Greetings, California, for tuning in live. Everyone tuning in live, listening to replay from California. What happened? So you're willing to preserve ignorance over your family's wealth. do 401ks. You're going to keep it in the 401k. You don't even know what the stocks that the mutual fund is holding completely. They might have you in a trucking company right now, holding a trucking company in that mutual fund. Did you know that? You got a trucking company in your portfolio, knowing that Tesla, their stock went through the roof and they're looking to create automated trucks. Wow. People are letting their financial future be at risk. No one's saying stop working, but what about educating yourself? Oh no, it's Labor Day weekend. We got to go get our hamburgers and hot dogs. We got to have barbecues. We're going to hand it over to our financial advisor. And we just lost some of our money because of a stock split that we weren't aware was coming. What about the financial advisor? They were supposed to advise you when bad things are going to happen, right? Not just when good things are happening, right? They advised you when the good things are happening. Hey, no worries. We'll recover it. You're not going to stop working until 10 to 15 to 20 years anyways. Right. Lack of financial education. The people you're dealing with, they got public knowledge. The vault, we talk about private knowledge. How is there not an advantage to investing in your private education right now? Well, it's Labor Day weekend. We got to go eat hamburgers and hot dogs. We got to go hang out with our friends at the barbecue. We don't want to read any books. What about trustee training? Trustee training is on Sunday. Some of us are off. So, we don't go back to work on Monday. We're on the road. We're driving out of town right now. We don't have time for trustee training on Sundays. We don't have time for trustee training right now. We're not going to put our families in the correct position. I think that trust is a good thing. I think that trust stuff is a good stuff. But I like right now, like it's just a little too easy to not care about my children's financial future, about my grandchildren's financial future. I'm okay with being known as a nobody to my children. When the greatest wealth transfer was happening in 2020, I'm okay with being a nobody. My children won't even know what I did. But no worries. My grandchildren will know because I didn't give them anything. I was at the barbecues. I was eating hamburgers and hot dogs. I was playing bingo. We were listening to oldies but goodies. Yeah, that's what happened in 2020 because you didn't position you or your family. It was easy to give your money away to somebody that as soon as you pull the money out, the taxes are going to be higher than taking a penalty right now and positioning yourself. And we've had people come to us with $100,000 bragging about it. I got $100,000 saved up in my 401k, but you're still not positioned correctly. You're invested in a diversified portfolio that says you're going to lose. How many people do you know really retire well off their 401ks? Why is it that younger people don't have access to 401ks anymore, ladies and gentlemen? Because they're shit. That's why. You think these companies got rid of them for a bad reason? Because they're trash. But hold on. Have you heard of dinosaurs? Yeah, they died off too. Hold on. Dinosaurs died. Well, what about 401ks? How come these new companies, they're not giving them to us? Because they're going to die off. But then you have Biden. Hey, let's play on people's emotion. We're going to make sure that you don't lose. We're going to make sure that you win. You talk good. I took some speech classes. I'm going to talk good to you, real smooth to you. I'm not going to talk loud like that guy, Trust Christian. I'm going to talk real nice to you. Hey, don't worry. The guy in office right now, he's not going to help you out. What about all the entrepreneurs and the investors on the line right now? See, if you're an employee, you care about the 401k. It's a safe place to be. But when you're an investor, you got to take risk. Oh, the 401k, that's not as risque as me positioning my family and trustee training and learning how to position my family for generations to come. Oh, really? So the employees love the 401ks. The little bit that's left of them, ladies and gentlemen. What about the ones that's working at Walmart and Target? The ones that's working at these companies that don't give you 401ks? Really? They give me health benefits though. Oh, okay. They don't give you a retirement. They're giving you a high tax savings in the end. Oh, okay. That's the difference. That's who we're talking to. We're talking to the entrepreneur investors, the ones that's willing to take the risk. The ones that got the 401ks and playing it safe, they're not for trust. You don't deserve trusteeship. Why? Because you're not taking risk. When you're in trusteeship, you take risk. It's no need to come into trusteeship if you're not willing to take a risk on what you think is a savings that's going to be taxed more in the future than it is right now. And taking a penalty right now. The risk right now. They're willing to wait because of their ignorance, because of their programming. The investors, though, the ones that say, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm starting a business, I got a business going. I don't really have a 401k, or I have a 401k for my job, but I don't know if I'm going to get the whole system in trusteeship. Oh, really? So you're not willing to take the full risk and full liability. You want to still hand it over to the 401k manager right now. And he just allowed you to go through an Apple stock split. He still allowed you to sit inside of a stock that the company's going to get mowed over for automated vehicles. He's got you in Ford. He's got you in these companies that aren't even thinking about automated vehicles right now. Don't even have automated vehicles. Don't even have plans for automated vehicles right now. Oh, okay. You want to sit in those stocks, though, because it's safe, Ford stock is up. They went through a restructure. They're up, We want to get in Royal Caribbean. Oh, okay. Yeah. We see the difference. The investors, the entrepreneurs, they're going to take the full risk. You got to take the full risk when you join this game as entrepreneur investorship. The full risk, not half the risk. You got to take the full risk. Man, that means I got to take a penalty? When is the penalty going to be higher? Now or later? Is the penalty going to be greater now or later? Well, I don't know, Trust Christian. Won't you go find out? That's your responsibility to your family's future. Now, present, and future generations. It's your responsibility. It's not your 401k manager's responsibility. Because let them tell it. They didn't call you and tell you Apple was getting ready to go through a stock split. Oh, okay. But they will tell you, hey, look, you can keep contributing. And by the time you reach 65, I'll make sure I have a retirement income off of you. And you'll have retirement income that you can barely live off. You won't be able to maintain your current standard of living. You're going to have to downsize. You'll be an empty nester. You don't need to keep the house. You're not going to be able to go buy a new house when you retire. You're going to be poor. What do you mean, Trust Christian? How are you going to be poorer when you retire than when you are living right now? Do people downsize when they get 65? They live on 401ks? You guys think entrepreneur investors downsize when they get older? Why would they be an investor or an entrepreneur growing capital for the rest of their life? See, they weren't accepting a handout. They weren't accepting freebies. They weren't accepting the penalties that are going to cost them later. They were willing to take the penalty now. It's called work hard to play later. Whereas the employees, they want to play now. It's Labor Day weekend. Barbecues and burgers. Hot dogs. Family with the weekend. They didn't want to take the penalty right now. They didn't want to take the risk on their private financial future, but they were willing to risk it to give people that are walking around with peanut butter and jellies inside of their lunch pails on Wall Street. Guys that aren't even making $60,000 anymore. Guys that are giving false information. Guys that got you in stocks that you already know are going to fail if you did your research. But they have you in a well-diversified portfolio. Look, we can't tell you that we're trading with the hedge fund. That means we have longs and shorts. We're just going to tell you that we all have longs. That means we're playing the long game, the pension game. Hold on. But you all have me in stocks that are not even diversified in automated vehicles. And automated vehicles are definitely going to be around. You think Google Maps was around 20 years ago? It is now. There's Waze around 20 years ago? It is now. Hold on. Google mapped out the planet through Google Maps. They're working on a program for automated vehicles. They're going to sell off the technology. Oh, okay. Tesla working on automated vehicles. You think your cell phone isn't tracking and creating habit patterns for AI and machine learning? Ladies and gentlemen, all the jobs have already been predicted. In the United States alone, 30% of the people that you see that are working right now will not be working. And by 2025, let alone 2030, they will not be working a job that has to deal with technology. Hold on. Let's share with you all what it looks like. Old school status. You all know what an ATM is, right? Yeah, it's called an ATM. No. It's called an automated teller machine. See, they automated tellers. You used to have to go to the bank to pull out money. No, now you can pull it out from a machine. What? Well, what happened when I went in the grocery store and I did self-checkout? You just replaced the job. So are you going to stop using companies that have automated teller machines? Or are you going to invest in your private education so you can get into a positive portfolio? Not a negative selection portfolio, a positive selection portfolio. Hold on. So my 401k fund managers put me in a negative selection portfolio? Looks like it, because he's putting you in a well-diversified portfolio. You call him up right now, he doesn't even know what the portfolio fully has in it. Just like he didn't know Apple was going to do a stock split. Yeah, right. JP Morgan knew it was going to happen. When you go find out who owns majority stock in these companies, it's institutions. It's the banks. The same ones that didn't make you aware that the stock split was getting ready to happen. And you're willing to take a risk on these people? This is why people don't deserve trustee training. The employees. Because they're sitting back waiting for a handout. You got to take a risk as an entrepreneur investor in your private education and your family's financial future. Oh no. Don't worry. The bank sold you a bag of goods. But who you think is sponsoring the presidential candidates? Oh, the banks. Okay. Who do you think's backing Biden? Ladies and gentlemen, trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. That's what the vault lives by. There are many people that invested in their private family financial education. They went through and got the entire system. They made sure that their children won't be taxable when they pass along wealth from one generation to the next, like any other elite, like any other wealthy. There's rules to this. Just because you don't know something exists doesn't mean that it doesn't. There's a system in place to keep people dumb, deaf, and blind. Sounds like the 401k fund manager, he didn't even know. But he worked for one of the major companies that's invested in the stock. How untimely. He didn't tell us to get out of the market. He didn't pull our money out of the market when we were going when COVID came around. He kept us in the market. We took a dip. Cause that's normal. Hold on. Tesla stock didn't take a dip. Hold on. Apple stock didn't take a dip. They just did what most people aren't aware of, which is a corporate split. That means cheap money. So they're liquidating assets. Liquidating assets. Do you know those type of terms, these financial terms? The financial advisor, they didn't advise you on what a corporate split can look like. Where the stock supposedly loses money. It didn't lose money, ladies and gentlemen. The CEOs of the company just got richer off of liquidity from people purchasing the stock for years. Hold on. What about Amazon? We were in Amazon. Did they go down during COVID? No. Not every company went down? Doesn't look like it. But we were in a well-diversified portfolio. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, there is an opportunity cost loss right now for your family's financial future. You're either going to invest in your private family financial education with the vault, Christian at trustchristian.com, or you're going to continue to take these financial hits and play with your financial future. Allow someone else to not even call you and tell you that you're about to take a hit when their company is 60% heavily invested in Apple. Oh, okay. We see the difference though. People are playing around with their family's financial future. That's all they're doing, ladies and gentlemen, because they don't know about positioning. Positioning is everything in capital markets. Are you positioned through someone else's company, or is your family positioned as the first position? Trust Christian, know nothing, control everything. How is your family positioned? Naked? Through your name, through a sole prop, or trusteeship? You didn't know about investing in your private education, but you're willing to take the risk with some guy that's not even in trusteeship as a financial advisor, but you listen to the vault. He's not even diversified in trusteeship. You know that the private education is superior to the public. You know that the trust situation is more superior. But what happened? Well, I don't really know all the details about that. Do you know everything about your 401k, how it's invested? Yeah, we already know the employees don't. But the ones that are playing on the fence, that are business owners, that are investors, you all know what it is. It's trust Christian, know not to control everything. It's invest in your private family education. That's what it is. And it's not halfway through the process. It's fully vested. You have to vest your family in a position. That means that we're going to be the beginning and the end of our failure or our success. Not allow someone else to have that position. Because guess what? Pre-COVID, everybody was riding high. Post-COVID, we're not even post-COVID yet, ladies and gentlemen. And people's portfolio haven't even recovered 40%. But go look at the stock markets right now. They recovered 100%. From their high to their low, they passed the high. That's 100% return. Did your portfolio just get 100% return in your 401k? No, because you are in a well diversified portfolio. The best of the worst and the worst of the best. Companies that aren't even prepared for automation. Appreciate you all for tuning in live, listening to replay. Christian at trustchristian.com. If you want to reach out for consultation, of course, the 401k is something that you might have to take the penalty on right now. But as you all can see, people that are going to sit in the 401ks, those are the employees. Those are the people that are not investing in their private education. They want to give They want to give up that responsibility to some guy that's making 30 to 50 to $60,000 a year. And all he did was go to school and get a business degree, and he's sitting in some office somewhere in a cubicle. Appreciate you all for tuning in live, listening to replay. Feel free to reach out, Christian at trustchristian.com. Appreciate you all for tuning in live or in the replay. Peace.